So good morning. So we are discussing the exception handling. So in the previous class, we have seen the what do you mean by exception, how the exception will arise and exception will be handled. So in the exception handling, the main class is throwable class. So the main class is throwable class, which is the subclass of object class. So object is called as object is a class which is universal superclass. So each and every class will inherit the properties of object class. So likewise, throwable is a class which is used to handle the exception handling. So every each and every method will be placed in the exception hand. If you want to do any operations or any functions depending on exceptions, we have to uh, inherit the properties from throwable class. So throwable is the main class here. Throwable is a super class for all the exceptional classes. So also we have seen that Java follows the termination model. So in exception handling has two methods, two ways to handle the exceptions. So one way is termination model, second one is resumption model. So Java follows termination model. That means whenever the exception arises, the program stops execution. The execution of the program will stops. So that is termination model. So resumption model means, so if you encounter any exception, even though if you even though if you get the exception, the remaining program will continue to execute. That is resumption model. So Java follows termination model. So and then we have seen the some keywords, some basic keywords: try, catch, finally, throw, and throws. We have seen the 5 keywords: try, try block, catch block, finally block. And the other 2 keywords are throw, throws. Throw, throws. So throws is a keyword which is used along with the method definition. Along with the method definition, throws. So throw is a keyword which is used within the method. Within the method as some statement. Within the method as some statement. So that is that is throw keyword. So throws is used along with the method definition. So suppose if you take the method as add int a comma int b throws some exception. Throws some exception. So throw will be used within the method. Within the method. So that is the difference between throws and throw. And then these are the main things in exception handling: try block, catch block, and finally block. So try block will be used to identify the exception. To identify the exception, the compiler will identify the exception if you place your logic within the try block. So if you place your logic within the try block, then the compiler will identify that the exception will arise. Exception will rise. So the programmer will identify the where to place the try block. So try block will be placed whenever when there is a possibility of getting the exception. So that is try block. Next, a catch block. So catch block means exception handler. Try means exception arises. Catch means exception handling. So here we found the solution for that exception. So here we will handle that exception. So try block means we will identify that exception. So catch block means we will resolve that problem. We will resolve that exception. That means we will handle that exception that is placed in the catch block. Then finally block. So finally is a keyword which has a block of statement. So finally, the main purpose of finally is whether the exception is erased or the exception is not erased. So both of the cases, the finally block will be executed. Whatever the situation may be, if the program will continue to execute whenever we place our statements in the finally block. If the exception arises, catch block will be executed. If you found any exception, try catch block will be executed. Then after the catch block, the program execution will terminate. The program execution will terminate. So if you write the finally block in your program, after the catch block, finally block will be executed. Finally block will be executed if you found any exception or if you don't find any exception. So both of the cases, finally block will be executed. That means if you want to execute the program irrespective of the exceptions, we will write that statements in the finally block. That means the content, the statements within the finally block will be always executed. So this is the basic things regarding try block, catch block, and finally block. And we have seen the throws also. Throw will be used within the method. Throws will be declared along the method definition. So we have seen some example in cricket example. We have seen the finalize also, garbage collection. So in Java, memory will be allocated dynamically. We don't need any other methods. So next one, multiple catch classes. Multiple catch classes. So that means if you write a program, we can have the single try block. That means let us take this example. So this is the some try block. So corresponding this exception, we are writing the catch block. Corresponding to this try block, we are writing some catch block. Corresponding to this, we are writing some catch block. That means in the try block, the exception arises. To resolve that exception, we are writing the catch block. So this is the general scenario. Single try, the corresponding to that catch block. So we may have multiple catch blocks also. That means multiple types of exception will be handled. So this is the one type of exception that is handled by this catch block. And then we find any other type of exception also. So that may be handled with other catch block. We don't have the same exceptions will be handled at the same within the same catch block. That means if we have two exceptions. So if you have two exceptions means we need two catch blocks. So we have three exceptions. If we have three exceptions means we need three catch blocks. We have 10 exceptions means we need 10 catch blocks. So 10 exceptions are not handled with single catch block. So if we have 10 exceptions means we need 10 catch blocks. So single catch block cannot handle all the exceptions. Single catch block cannot handle all the types of exceptions. For each type, we have to write the separate catch block. For each type of the exception, we have to write the separate catch block. So for this, we may have the multiple catch blocks. So let us see how this will be implemented. So there are two ways. So before the Java versions, Java version 7, we can have the multiple catch blocks like this. Try. So try statements and then catch block. Suppose it take type 1 exception. Type 1 exception. The exception object is even for suppose. So this is catch block. Then we can have the another catch block also. Another catch block of type 2. Type 2 means suppose that is arithmetic error. That type 2 is array index out of boundary error. Like that we have so many exceptions. For this object is E2. So this is another catch block. So before the Java version 7, we can have the multiple catch blocks in this fashion. So after the Java version 7, that means latest Java versions, we can have the other implementation also. So that is try block. We have the try block, and then we have the single catch block. So single catch block will have multiple types of exceptions. That means that can be separated by logical OR operator. Type 2. So we have two types of exceptions. So two types of exception. The object is E. So this is the catch block. So that means, so in previous versions of Java, for every exception there is a need to be a corresponding catch block. For every exception, we need a catch block. So multiple exceptions we cannot handle in a single catch block. Multiple exceptions we cannot handle in the single catch block. So that's why we have written multiple catches here, multiple catch blocks here. But after latest versions of Java supports single catch block. Single catch block. In that single catch block, we have so many types of exceptions. Type 1, arithmetic exception. Type 2, array index exception. Type 3, suppose IO exception. Like that, we may have multiple number of exceptions. So here, multiple number of exceptions can be handled within the single catch block. Within the single catch block. So if we have the so here two types of exceptions. Type 1 is a one type of exception. Type 2 is a one type of exception. So all these two exceptions are handled by using the object E. E is a exception object. So here in the catch block, we will write some statements. So this is the latest versions of Java. The catch block will be supported by using the Boolean OR operator. So this can be called as Boolean OR operator. So this can be called as Boolean OR operator. So by using the Boolean OR operator, we can have multiple exceptions in a single catch block. Multiple exceptions within the single catch block. Here we have only single catch block. Here we have two catch blocks. So type 1 is for exception 1, type 2 is for exception 2. So here two types of exceptions are there. So for two different types of exceptions, we need two different catch blocks. But in the latest versions of Java, we can place the multiple exceptions separated by the logical OR operator. By using this logical OR operator, we can have the multiple exceptions can be handled within the single catch block. Multiple exceptions can be handled within the single catch block. So this is all about the multiple catch blocks. So let us have some programs. So let us see this program. So simple illustration for try block and catch block. So let us say I have written the main class, main method. So I am declaring some local variables. I is equal to 6, j is equal to 0, and I am declaring the variable k. So this is the try block. So this is the try block. So this is the catch block. This is the catch block. So in between the try block and catch block, we don't have any type of statement. So immediately after ending the try block, the catch block will be written. So there should not be any statements in between the try block and catch block. So try is a keyword which has the block of statement. So that's why I have used the curly braces. So within that we can write our statements. So I have written some printf statement entered into the try block, and then I am performing some arithmetic operation, that is I by j that is assigned to the variable k is equal to I by j. Then I am writing some printf statement exiting the try block. So this is the end of the try block. Then I immediately do that. So there is a chance of getting error here, I by j. So if you give j value as 0, then it will return some error. It will return some exception. So that's why. So there is a need to handle that exception. That's why these statements are kept in the try block. So these statements are kept in the try block. So if you found any exception to be raised, then we need a catch block. Catch arithmetic exception. Here the class is arithmetic exception. So arithmetic exception is a class name. Arithmetic exception is a class name. So which is the subclass of runtime exception? So which is the subclass of exception? Which is the subclass of throwable? So which is a subclass of object? So this is the class hierarchy. So object is the main class. Under that, throwable is the subclass. Under that, exception is a subclass. Under that, runtime exception is a subclass. Under that, arithmetic exception is a subclass. So for this, the exception object is E. So here exceptions are treated as object. So here exception object is E. So I am printing that exception object E. So this is the simple program to illustrate the try block as well as catch block. Try block as well as catch block. So let us run this one. Java C try catch 1 Java try catch 1 dot try catch 1. So see here. So check the output here. So here enter the try block. This statement will be executed. That means this statement will be executed. This statement will be executed. After this, k is equal to I by j will be executed. So while executing this, 6 by 0. 6 by 0. So 6 by 0 means some exception. Some exception will be raised. So that's why the exception is division by 0 exception. The exception is division by 0 exception. So whenever the exception arises, the control goes to catch block. The program execution terminates. So remaining these statements are not executed. Exiting the try block, all these statements are not executed. Whenever you find any exception, immediately the control goes to the catch block corresponding to that exception. So the exception is arithmetic exception, that is division by 0. So that is called arithmetic exception. The error will be displayed here. The exception will be displayed here. So here we have to observe that remaining statements are not executed here. Remaining statements are not executed. Whenever the exception arises, the program terminates. The remaining statements are not executed. So only catch block statement will be executed. Only catch block statements will be executed. So this is the mechanism of try block as well as catch block. So let us see one more example. So let us see this example. So this is the main class. I have written the class. This is the public static void main method, and then I am declaring I am initializing some variables. I is equal to 6, j is equal to 0, and k value. That is okay. So this is try block. Enter same program. Enter try block. K is equal to I by j. Same program. Then I have written the catch block, arithmetic exception E. I am writing that system.out.println arithmetic exception card, exiting the catch block. So I have written some printf statements. So whether these statements will be printed or not, to check that, I have written some statements. And then after the catch blocks, I have initialized the j value to 2. After the end of the catch block, I have initialized the value j to 2. Then I am calculating the I by j, 6 by 2. 6 by 2. That means I have to get the output 3. So let us see this. Let us check this program. Same program, but after the catch block, we have written some statement. We have assigned the j value as 2. Here we have assigned the j value as 0. And then after the catch block is executed, I have written the j value as 2. So let us see what happens. So Java C try catch 2 ch try catch 2.java. So okay, Java try catch 2. So let us see. So this statement will be executed. Enter the try block. So whenever this is happen, 6/0, that means exception is erased. So whenever the exception arises, the control goes to the catch block. So this statement is not executed. So this statement is not executed. Exiting the try block is not in the output. So whenever the exception arises, the control goes to the catch block. So remaining statements will not be executed. So in the catch block, we have written the statements arithmetic exception caught, and exiting this statement is printed, this statement is printed. So after that, we have initialized the j value to 2. And then we are performing some arithmetic operation I by j. So 6 by 2. 6 by 2 is 3. So we got the output 3. Output 3. So these statements are not executed. So after the catch block, these statements are executed. So within the catch block, within the try block, if you found any exception, the control exists from the try block. So the remaining statements will be executed. Catch block will be executed. After the catch block, if you found any statements, so that will be executed. So within the try block, statements are not executed. If you found any exception, within the try block, statements are not executed. So outside the try block and catch block, the main statements will be executed. So this is the mechanism of try block as well as catch block. So let us see one more example. So here I am using the finally block. So try block, catch block, and finally block. So let us see this program. So this is the main class, main method. I am initializing the variable I2 8, M2 2, J2 0, and K. I am taking some variables and assigning the values. So this is the try block. This is the try block. So we don't have any exception. We don't have any catch block here. So here we don't have any catch block. That means we don't have any exception handler. So if you find any exception in this try block, there is no catch block. There is no catch block to implement. So let us see what is going to do. System.out.println, I have written some statement, enter try block. Then I am performing k is equal to I by j. I by j means 8 by 0. So 8 by 0 means the exception arises. Then I am printing the k value, and then I am exiting the try block. So this is the try block. So corresponding to this, we don't have any catch block. We don't have any catch block. So here I am getting some exception. So here I am getting some exception. To resolve this exception, I don't have any exception handler. I don't have any catch block here. And then I am writing the finally block. Finally block. That means if the exception arises or not. If the exception arises, this finally block will be executed. If the exception is not erased here, this block will be executed. So any of this case, the final block will be always executed. If you found an exception or if you don't found an exception, this finally block will be always executed. So in this finally block, I have written some printf statements. Entered finally block, exiting the final block. I am calculating some I by m. I value is 8, m value is 2. So 8 by 2 means you will get the 4 as output. So this is the finally 4. So these statements will be executed always. These statements will be executed always. This finally block does not depend on try block. The finally block does not depend on try block. So if you find the exception or if you don't find the exception, the finally block will always be executed. So let us see the output for this. So Java C try catch 3 dot Java. No errors. Try catch catch 3. So check the output here. So enter try block. So this will be executed. So after this, k is equal to I by j. That means I value is 8. I value is 8. J value is 0. That means some exception. So exception arises. That means it will exit from this block. It will exit from the try block. So compiler searches for the catch blocks. So compiler has found that the compiler cannot find any catch block. So then the remaining statement will be executed. The remaining statement is finally placed in the finally. So that this finally block will be executed. Enter the finally block and calculating the I by M, 8 by 2, 4, and exiting the finally block and exiting the finally block. And then finally it is raising the exception in the thread main java dot language dot arithmetic exception. So here it raises the exception, even though we have not written the catch block. So the compiler, the JVM has some default exceptions. The compiler or JVM will have the default exception handlers. So if the compiler cannot find the catch block in the program, the compiler searches by its library, searches within the compiler's library. So the JVM has default exception handlers. So the default exception handlers will raise this exception. So line 10. So the line 10 is this one. So it raises the exception, division by 0 exception. So if you don't write the catch blocks, so compiler has some default exception handlers. So the compiler will raise the exception if you write the catch block, or if you don't write the catch block, the compiler will raise the exception. So these statements are not executed. These statements are not executed. These two statements are not executed. Why? Because the exception is raised here. So it immediately searches for the catch block. It exists from this block. If you found any exception, the control goes to the outside of that block. So these statements will be executed. These two statements will not be executed. So finally block is independent of try block. Finally block doesn't depend upon try block. Doesn't depend upon the try block. If you write some statements in the finally means always these statements will be executed. In any of the case, these finally block will be executed. So this is some illustration of try block, catch block, and finally block. So if you don't write the catch block, we have seen what happens. If you write the catch block, we have seen what happens. If you write some statements in the finally, we have seen how the output will be. So this is all about some basic programs or basic things regarding the try block, catch block, and finally block. So next one, let us see the multiple catch blocks. Let us see the multiple catch blocks. So multiple catch blocks. So let us see this program. So this is the main class. Okay, this is the main method, public static void main. Okay, then I am writing the try block. So I am writing the try block. So in this try block, I am initializing some variables. Int a is equal to 0, c, b is equal to 56. I am initializing some variables a, b, c. So I have given a value as 0, b value as 56, and I have declared the variable c. And I am initializing an array a1. A1 is an array. So it holds the elements 4, 6, 7, 5. 4, 6, 7, 5 are the elements of the array. So here array name is a1. Then I am going to print that array. I am going to print that array. So the array elements are, I am using the for loop to iterate the 4 elements. Int I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. I am printing that a1 of I, array of I, a of 0, a1 of 0, a1 of 1, a1 of 2, a1 of 3, and a1 of 3. So, but I am so a1 of 4. So up to the I value 4, the loop will be iterated. And then I am printing the a value as 10, b value as 56. I am printing the ab value, and then I am performing c is equal to b by a. I'm performing C is equal to B by A. So B value is 56, A value is 0. So 56 by 0. So some exception will arise. So this is the try block. So here I have initialized an array. Here I have initialized an array and I am printing that array. And then I am calculating some division. I'm calculating some division. So I have placed this logic in the try block. Try block. So corresponding this, I am writing the catch block. Catch. So for division by 0. Division by 0 means some arithmetic exception. I am using the object as EX. So system.out.println integer division by 0 and I am printing the EX value plus EX. So this is one catch block. This is one catch block. So here I am writing the another catch block. So here I am writing the another catch block. So this catch block is for array. This catch block is for arithmetic operation, arithmetic type exception. So this catch block is for array index out of bound. Array index out of bound. That means array index means array size 5. So if you give the array size as 5, but if you are going to enter the values, if you are going to enter the 10 values, if the array size is 5, even though you are trying to enter the 10 values, so it raises the array index bound exception. So this exception is for arrays. Here object is AE. I am printing that AE, array index out of bound. So here in this program, we are trying to use the multiple catches, multiple types of exceptions. So one exception is arithmetic exception. Second exception is array index out of bound exception. So that's why I have taken array and I have taken some integers, arithmetic values. So let us see the output for this. So program name is multiple catch 1. Multiple catch 1. So see the output here. So here I am printing the array values. I am printing the array values 4, 6, 4, 6, 7, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, A1 of 3. So I have written I less than 5. I less than 5. That means 4. I value 4. The loop will be repeated. So I value 4 means I have not entered any value. So I have only 4 elements in the array. But I have given the index as 5, less than 5. That means fifth index value is 0. Fifth index value is 0. No. So not like that. So the array values are printed. Here the array values are printed 4, 6, 7, 5. And then I am going to print the AB values here. So A value is 0, B value is 56. I am printing the A value and B value. A value is 0, B value is 56. So the array is printed. And then elements A and B are printed. Then I am going to perform some arithmetic operation. C is equal to B by A. So B value is 56, A value is 0. So division by 0. So division by 0. That means the control exception is rising. That means the control goes to the catch block. So here we have two catch blocks. Here we have two catch blocks. Which catch block will be executed? Which catch block will be executed? So this is the division by 0 error. So the division by 0 exception. The corresponding to that catch block only will execute. So this catch block only will execute. That is integer division by 0. That exception is we are printing that plus EX. That means java.language.arithmetic exception division by 0. We are printing that error. So this is not executed. Array index out of bound is not executed. Array index out of bound is not executed. So the exception is only single catch block will be executed. Only single catch block will be executed. If you found other exception, other catch block will be executed. So let us modify this one. Let us take this value as 2, A value as 2. Let us see the output, what happens. I have changed the A value as 2. Java C multiple catch one dot Java. So this is the array elements are 4675. 4675. So here we are getting the array index out of bound. So this catch block will not execute it. This catch block is not executed, arithmetic exception. So here B by A. So B by A means 56 by 2. So that is 28. 28 or 26. So some output will be, we are getting some output. So this exception is not raised. So next we are getting the array index out of bound. So array index out of bound exception. So that is array index out of bounds. We are written some printf that exception is plus AE. So this is the plus AE. Java.language dot array index out of bound exception index 4 out of bounds for length 4. That means here we have given only 4 elements. Here we have given only 4 elements. Let us see, change this one 5 to 4. Let us change this to 5 to 4. That means let us see the output now. So let us see, there is no exception here. So there is no exception here. That means here we have entered the 4 elements. We have entered the 4 elements. So we have given the 4 element size. If you give the 5 means out of bound. Out of bound means one element size is missing. Here we are placing the five memory places, but we have only 4 array elements. That means one memory space will be wasted. So that can be treated as array index out of bound. So if you give 5 means we will get this error. If you give 4 means we don't get any error. If you give 4 means we don't raise any exception. So this program doesn't have any exception. So this program doesn't have any exception then. So this is the illustration of multiple catch blocks. Multiple catch blocks. So let us see one more example. So that is the before Java version we can have the multiple catch blocks. So after the Java version 7 we can have the multiple exceptions in the single catch block by using the Boolean OR operator. By using the Boolean OR operator. Same program. So this is the same program. But here we are writing the single catch block. We don't have multiple catch blocks here. So we are writing the single catch block. So here arithmetic exception. So logical Boolean OR and then array index out of bound. That exception is E. So if you found either this exception or this exception, the system will handle this exception. R means R truth table is if the either of these two things are true, the output will be true. That means either the compiler will raise this arithmetic exception or the compiler will raise array index out of bound exception. These two exceptions can be handled. That is the error of the type plus E. We are writing the plus E. So plus E means the corresponding exception will be displayed. This means division by 0 exception. This means array index exception. So this can be possible in the latest versions of Java. We can write the Boolean OR operator. We can use the Boolean OR operator. By using the Boolean OR operators, we can have the multiple exceptions in the single catch block. So this is all about the multiple catch blocks. So let us run this program. Multiple catch 2. So let us, so we are printing the array elements. So here we are printing the array elements, and then while printing the array elements, we are getting the some exception. That means array index out of bound exception. Array index out of bound exception. So if you give this value as 4, so if you give this value as 4, so we are not getting any exception. So we are not getting any array exception. We are not getting any array exception. Then I am printing the A value and B value, and then we are performing C is equal to B by A. So B value is 56. Here I am getting arithmetic exception. So here I am getting an arithmetic exception. So the arithmetic exception error will be displayed. So this can be possible in the latest versions of Java. So by using the Boolean OR operator. So this is the Boolean OR operator. So this can be multiple catch blocks can be possible in the Java. So the latest versions of Java can handle this by using Boolean OR operator. Boolean OR operator. So this is the illustration of try blocks and catch blocks and multiple catch blocks and finally blocks. So any doubts? So, okay, thank you.